Well, first and foremost, hello, good morning, good night, good afternoon to you all. If you're watching this, you're probably here from D1 Story, my story, or probably even the podcast page, or maybe a friend sent this to like friends do that, friends share stuff. But anyways, I'm here to address something very I don't know how to put this, but I'd say very confusing. I assume you're probably in bed at your desk or just doing anything at home and you got sent this video. And so I'd just like to let you know the topic at hand is quite triggering. So if you're not one for words like, P3 EDO or EDP, please click off. Firstly, I'm not here to offend anyone. Uh I'm just clearing my name. My friend's name and the brand's name. That's when the Donje and Jenna war started. And personally, I wouldn't really call this a war, more just general calling out Donji for something. And that's fair. Everyone has freedom of speech. You're allowed to call somebody out for something they did. Um, I at first I wasn't too sure on what Gino was calling Donji out on. You see, I'm a fan of Donji and I enjoy his persona, the way he carries himself and lives life like nobody's watching. And really, he's a good role model for everybody. Live your life like nobody's watching. Now, Gino called Donjay out for making cringe content, and I put this in air quotes, and I'm probably gonna put it on quotes as well on the screen. I say cringe content in quotes because obviously not everybody finds this content cringe. A lot of us enjoy watching it. Most of us don't. Like we explained in a couple of streams, I think it was stream 2 or 1. Uh, there's a minority and a majority, and in life there's always a majority and minority. Majority likes Dodge's content and the minority doesn't. Gino tried to play the role of like a king of the minority, or what we called him was a vigilante. I guess he was trying to stand out and be the voice for the minority, and so he was just trying to say nobody likes her content. That's until somebody sent him something that shifted his perspective completely. And he said that in last night's stream. Now, the main aim of this podcast was to, of course, bring the topic to the public, which I get can be annoying and stupid. But think of it like a news source. I know people who never knew about this topic and now they want to know about it. That sometimes it's not a good thing. Not everybody should know stuff. But at the same time, you have to know what's in your community. You have to know what's going around in your community. It's your island, for crying out loud. So you must want to know what's going on. And so that's what education is, or not education, but being educated. That's what informing is. Telling people about what's going on in your community, putting it on a platform for people, you know? And like I've said before, if Donjay found anything wrong with our podcast, he could have came to us and told us to remove it or blur certain things. Anything that had to do with him, he could have told us, "Hey, I'm not with this." But instead, he supported our content. He's reposted our stuff. He had an interview with us on stream for which he cleared his name. He even commented on most of the videos telling us he messes with the content. I've had DMs with him, which I won't share, of course, until I get his permission. But I've had DMs with him saying, "Yeah, guys, I like the content, keep it up." And he's just enjoying being the center of attention, which nothing's wrong. I like being the center of attention sometimes. Now, if you're watching this and I say you in like full caps, because you know yourself, you know who I'm referring to, please take some time to realize that we simply are just enjoying ourselves. And yes, you know who I'm speaking about. Um, Minus the slander as well. Like, we weren't in any way trying to slander anybody's name. Matter of fact, we went as far as to saying we were neutral. And yes, if some claims seem to be biased, it was probably due to the lack of evidence, which in the end we did our own research, we did our own digging, and found evidence to back our claims. And even then, we aren't the ones making the claims. It was a claim made by Gino and a claim made by Donje, and we're going off of those two claims and trying to help them, put this aside. None of our videos, like none of our titles or thumbnails, we've never made them to portray Donjay or Gino in bad lighting at all. Matter of fact, when we create the thumbnails like a good 30 minutes before we go live. And I always tell the guys, okay, I need ideas, but please make it, neutral. Don't make it biased. And so that's why in the first stream, the um the thumbnail was just a Super Smash Bros. Versus, because that's basically what it was. Jenna versus Donjay. We weren't trying to make it like, oh, Jenna has the upper hand, or we weren't trying to flip it and go, oh, Donjay has the upper hand. None of that. In the other stream, Donjay versus EDP allegations. It's not like we called him an EDP. We said he's versing EDP allegations. It's Donjay versus allegations, and for legal reasons, we can't say the word, the P word, PEDO. We can't say that on YouTube without getting struck down. Uh, we even went as far as to claiming to be neutral and still conducting an experiment to prove Donjay's innocence. Now, I don't know what your dictionary definition of neutral is, but when we say neutral, you don't pick a side. And even then, we went out of the quote unquote neutral grounds and even tried to prove Donjay right. So I don't see how one could say we were biased against Donjay or biased to Donjay. Like, I don't see. Um, our aim isn't to destroy his career or life. Our aim is just to speak our minds freely whilst dropping unrelated humor here or there. And humor is still humor. It doesn't matter if you find it funny. We're just doing it for our own laughs. So some people might find it funny, you might not find it funny. Nonetheless, it's still humor. Just because, like I said, you're a minority who doesn't find it funny doesn't mean that there's not a majority who do find it funny. And if you hadn't realized, false accusing someone of being an EDP is a horrible thing. And the aim of our podcast was to, get everyone to do fact checks. We're trying to tell people, hey, check it out before you take it out. It's kind of like a car. You buy a car. Before you buy the car, you say, hey, can we take this on a test drive? And you test the car before you go driving it full time. And so that's what we're telling people. Fact check before you run around with an allegation like that, something as serious as EDP allegation. The hate we're receiving is absurd, to be honest, but it's nothing but fuel to continue our content. Yeah, like I can't lie, it's annoying that people are hating, but in everything you will get hate. And to be honest, it's just helping us to be better as podcast hosts. The feedback we're receiving helps us to do more fact checking, and for the viewers, yeah, it helps us to do more fact checking for the viewers, and even help Donjay to end this beef once and for all. But aside from that, some little side notes I'd like to address, because I'm ending it right here. All this hate, all these beefs, all these people messaging me or talking about me and the podcast host, I'm ending it right here. Don't say that nobody is going to watch an 8-minute long video, especially when the video got 4K views. And you know yourself. We had a chat last night. Please refrain from comparing us to others. So don't, like I said, don't call me, I'm not even sure, Bazooka. Don't call me that. I'm K Dot, and D1 is D1, Norbit is Norbit. We're not trying to side with anyone. If you saw me on the street and asked me whose side I'm on, at the end of the day, I would say, I don't care, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm on nobody's side. I don't really care if the allegations are true or if they're false. I don't care. I just want people to fact check before running around with a claim that could potentially ruin someone's life. And if there's like any misunderstandings and any misunderstandings or confusion, you have to remember, I'm 15. I'm still maturing. I'm still leveling up as a human. I everybody goes through their phase where they do dumb stuff, say dumb stuff, and I'm trying to get past that, you know. So please, if you have any points of view, any POV, any points you'd like to make, anything, don't be afraid to join the Discord server. I'm creating one just for people to join, and we can have interviews. And indubitably, I'll let you add your POV. I will not say anything, and if you say something I disagree with, I will, of course, rebut. It's debating, and maybe last night wasn't probably the best example of debating, but it is what it is. So thanks for watching, I guess. Please keep safe. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night. I don't know what time you're watching this, but have fun with whatever you do in life, because things aren't always meant to be taken serious. And yes, subscribe and tune in for tonight. D1, or if you don't subscribe, D1 will break into your home butt naked and deliver you a pizza. I'm just saying, I don't think that's something you want to happen.